So we're going to be doing the 3D name using a vanishing point. So I'm making a curved base to create the name on kind of more interesting plane. And now I'm just writing the letters of the name all in capital letters because it's easier, and I'll explain about that a little bit later. Now I'm carefully going to be putting a border around all the letters. And as you can see at the ends of the letters, they're going to be squared or kind of blocked off. In the middle of the A, I'm also making sure that I identify that negative space. It's like a little triangle. At the bottom of the M, you could make it pointy, or you could also make a squared off straight edge. But as you can see, my borders are fairly even in width around the whole letter. Again, the negative space within the O's. Over here on the N, you can make the top left corner and the bottom right corner pointy, but again, I think it looks more consistent if you create that squared off cut kind of edge, just like the bottom left and top right. Just so you could see better, I'm gonna go ahead and outline it with a permanent marker, nice and evenly. So again, also make sure that the negative space within the O's is again nice and even around. You don't want to make the inside circle too small because it won't be consistent with the other letters. At this point now, I'm going to go ahead and create where I want the vanishing point to be. That's where that little dot is. So vanishing point. I'm going to be using a straight edge. This doesn't have any numbers on it. It's just a straight edge, so that way I could bring all the corners and all the edges to the vanishing point. So as you can see, I'm putting my pencil where it should be, and then I'm just moving it to the vanishing point. That makes it much easier. So again, I'm just very slightly moving the straight edge and then bringing all those edges and points. Note that inside the A, there's a lot of edges and points. Same with the M, there's a lot of corners and edges, so you'd need to bring every single one of those to the vanishing point. You might also notice that I'm not bringing any of the top parts of the letters to the vanishing point because it would go through itself, and that won't need to be included. With round letters like an O, you would have to go to the furthest edge of the O. So as you can see, I'm using my straight edge to really mark the furthest edge of the O. Tidy up if your lines are a little bit wonky. And this could be a very fast process if you just think about it logically. Again, as you could see at the top of the N, I didn't go all the way through because I don't want to draw through the 2D letter. Now, as you can see, I'm using the straight edge again to create parallel lines to form the 3D or block part of the letter. So I'm just moving my straight edge slightly from the original block letter and drawing a parallel line. Again, parallel lines are lines that don't intersect or lines that are evenly next to each other. So this is the tricky part that people forget, is that inside of the bottom portion of the A, that little blocked area. So I'm going to show the same thing with the M. So again, I'm making sure it's nice and parallel. That's why I'm starting at the edge of the original block and then bringing it down slightly. Don't forget to put in the lines from the vanishing point to really create that 3D quality. So here is where I have a rounded letter. I would need to make a curved parallel line to match the curve of the J, and you'll see also the curve of the O's. If you feel you don't have a very steady hand, I would do it in pencil first and then trace it with a marker after. Don't forget to also indicate the inside of the O's to create that 3D quality. On to my last letter. And so all these letters aren't going to look the same maybe when you do it, because where the letter is going to depend on where the block part is. So if this N was towards the front, the block part would look a little bit different. At the very end, when you're done, really take the time to erase all of your pencil lines to create that nice, crisp, clean block letter. And then that way, when you color it in with color pencil, you won't have any of those pencil lines showing through.